It did.
It did for like.
Yeah, it was running for a while.
We didn't see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, no. It's not
He
live.
doesn't
I'm
have
just,
the.
I'm just,
why- we can't-
yeah.
we
I'm
can't-
just recording it for myself.
Yeah, we're just talking. We're just
Yeah.
doing our show live. So.
Yeah, and much like Randall, when he's in church, he's
Sorry.
looking at his phone doing other things.
Oh, I was like, why aren't you? I wanted to comment. Like, then
Don't.
that's why you-
Yeah.
Why would you? What would you call it? Just say it.
I don't want to interrupt you guys. Yeah, like, I'm like, dude,
You can
I can
interrupt.
see your
It's
jump
fine.
under the table. Like,
I was worried about that. Yeah, I was worried about that.
Yeah, if one of them slips out and runs out. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably make it more interesting.
Yeah. So, so just a little bit more about myself. I actually work from home, and then so like that kind of gives me the flexibility to be able to do more reviews. You know, sometimes I can get up early before I start my work during the day, and I can do a review in the morning, or if I need to do it in the afternoon or in the evenings, I can. And a lot of times I try to keep my reviews on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as you guys know. And I don't cover just Mythics. I collect a lot. I collect Mayfex, Mezco. You know, G.I. Joe Classified series is like probably one of my favorite lines right now. I think it's like probably the best value out there.
Yeah.
$25. The figures aren't. They're still not like going up in price. You still get a lot of stuff. And so I collect a lot of different lines. My collections are just kind of, it's like, for Saturday morning, like where I got my name from specifically is I like to collect modern remakes of like toys that were based on stuff in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, you know, to me that's like the greatest time for toys. It's like everything was awesome. Like everything that came out was great. It hardly ever really looked like the source material, and I never really cared about that. Like my G.I. Joes didn't look like the show. Like, you know, Mask was pretty close. Yeah, Thundercats was never really, you know, but no, it's just anything that was based on like Saturday morning or afternoon cartoons. So that's kind of like what my channel is. If you've ever seen my opener, like that's exactly what it is. It's got the little Filmation thing and all the little Saturday morning cartoons that would come rolling through. Man, I watched. There was so much good stuff in the 80s. So,
That was the best time, right?
Yeah. And we're all around that same age, you know, 45 to 50.
I called him out.
But that's
I called him
okay.
I met some younger people today. I was a 25-year-old here earlier.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
All ages, everybody's welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, this year has been fantastic. I was really hoping that we were going to have a table reveal at like we did last year with Valiant Knight. I think they blew it out of the water. I was not expecting the snake. I just got a chance to open it and play with it downstairs. It is absolutely incredible.
So I asked one of the studio guys, I'm like, okay, I'm waking up early, and is there going to be a reason for me to be there that early? I go, just blink. You don't even have to say anything. Like, give me some kind of, and he said, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to say that there's one thing there that you don't have. You might have everything else, but there's one thing you don't, and you've already seen it. And I'm like, So it wasn't like a huge secret, I think, but that thing is freaking amazing. So I hope that everyone has had a chance to pick it up today. The Snake Man.
Yeah,
which I thought we were gonna bring, but I guess it doesn't matter.
I dropped it off in
But
the
has anyone opened theirs yet? You opened
It's
yours?
beauty.
Gavin opened his.
Who else? No, he opened his, and I was like checking it out, and like, so it's the old like body, but they put some kind of ridges on the back.
Yeah, there's a little ridge piece to where his back has got a curve to it with like little spines, but if you could pull that off, and it doesn't even hinder the shoulder ports. It doesn't even hinder that. It kind of goes around
The
those.
head sculpt.
But that's the Oleg Thigard body, and I asked Jeremy. I cornered him, and I was like, did Eric do this on purpose? Like when he did Oleg, did he think, oh, in a few years we're gonna get to a snake body? He's like, no, it's just one of those happy accidents that kind of happened.
They have this thing where they make stuff that we don't even know that we need. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need that, and then you see it like, okay, I need two. I need a couple.
I love that, like when they're sculpting something, like when Eric is sculpting something, you can probably see like his wheels start to turn. Like, how can we do this like in the future? Like we saw the Bastet feet, or the wolf feet or the dog feet with the Bastet and Anubis, and then everybody's like, well, we're getting werewolves, and then now we get this character that was revealed on, that's got like that has the dog feet on it already.
Well, he's saying that he kind of laughed at that because he's like, no, Leodicius is way bigger, so like those feet wouldn't.
Oh no,
work
it's
for
the
that,
other
but-
one that I'm talking about, the little brown one. I don't know what it's called. It's not the
Oh,
it's
the
smaller.
cackler, yeah.
Okay.
Which is phenomenal. That figure looks so.
I only got to see Randall. I only got to see a few reveals before we got to the airport, and then we didn't get to see anything else. So
Yeah, but yeah, that figure is beautiful. It's phenomenal. Super excited for the wave
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised about the size. I thought it would be like a bigger, but I mean they had
So
so
did
many
your fiance.
other. What?
So did your fiance.
Anyways, I thought that there would be more. So when he said this is the last figure, I was like, whoa. But you know, they so.
So what's the going, like, let's read the room a little bit. What does everybody think the price for this dragon's gonna be?
I'm guessing about $350 for the dragon itself, another $125, $150 for the accessory pack.
Wishful thinking.
That's great. Hey, I'm down for that. I'd rather it be that than it's 500 as the base price, and then
500.
you think 500 base
So the
price.
accessories are what, the fire and the wings? Is
And
that
the fire, the wings,
Oh, and
and
the neck.
the other head. That's the other neck piece.
And somebody was saying that there's a different set of wings. There's the extended wings, and then there's like the
yeah.
closed one.
Which I kind of think is cool. Like, it'd be nice to have ones that articulate, but it's. I mean, who's gonna be like running and playing with it and like making it? You know,
Who's not?
Okay, I'm 51. I'm not doing that. I can hurt myself.
I heard somebody say that they were looking forward to like hanging it from the ceiling. I'm pretty sure it would cave my ceiling in.
Right.
I'm already about to go home and hang my dragonfly. Like I'm already gonna have one thing hanging.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
rubbing it in. I just
A little bit.
right before this meeting, my wife sent me a picture. She goes, "You got a really big box from Hasbro." I was like, "That's the dragonfly."
Yeah.
So that thing shipped before December, so I'm happy about that. It's awesome. Of course, the one weekend I'm out of town. It shows
So,
up.
more thoughts on the dragon. Are you guys satisfied with the color that they picked? I mean, the textures and everything I think are gorgeous, but like my thought was like, I like the colors, but it's almost like, not cliched, but it's almost, it doesn't have to be a green dragon. But I think they said with the lore that there's other dragons that are coming,
Sure.
so it's like, okay, cool. So that kind of like, okay, so maybe I don't need to buy this one, I might wait for the next one. But it's
Yeah, I mean,
just-
you know other colors are coming. They're not going to tool that entire thing and then not re-release it. Yeah, I mean, so they were going to, I think so. I heard somebody today yell out back metal. Dragon would be because do back metal. Of course, we're going to get the purple gang translucent
Of course.
with glitter
Right.
on the inside.
Of course.
I'm down for it. I got to say that I've always been. This is so funny. It's like this was not even a topic that I think I cared to weigh in on before like the beginning of this year, but. I've always heard that people have had this ongoing debate on whether or not a dragon is four-legged with wings or two-legged with the arms that have wings in the front.
No, two-legged with the, like that's a wider, 4 legs is a dragon.
There we go. So yeah. So for me, like I've never cared one way or the other. Like
I'm the same.
AstroTurf or
Yeah.
natural grass. You know what? I don't have a stance on that. But for me, like I don't know. Like but this year, I've watched a lot of dragon stuff. I think like the Game of Thrones new series, House of the Dragon, and then
Right.
So for me, I don't know. I kind of feel like a dragon's two-legged with the arms with the wings.
Really?
So
But what if he like falls? You could fall on his face and break his
You
arms.
never see a dragon
his
fall.
wings.
I don't know, but I was always of the mindset you can't make a four-legged dragon with wings cool, but it's pretty dope.
That goes back to the Snake Man. It's like I was always been like, a dragon, but seeing it like in person, I'm like, oh my god.
I also think too, like if fans have waited 10 years to get this dragon, they're gonna give you the ultimate dragging experience like out of the door, which is probably why we got the green. I would imagine it would have either been green or red, like
See,
right out the door.
red is what I would pick. Like
Yeah.
I think it was the Hobbit
Yeah.
that had smog that had like that brick red. And
Yeah.
like,
Cherry red.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll
And
just
then
wait
Super
until Eric
7 will
Miller
do,
like
the
paints it.
1200cc. The
Eric Miller will
1200cc.
do like a red version that'll look beautiful, and then we'll have Matt
Imagine-
Stein will do a patina on
Can
it.
you imagine people customizing?
Oh, of course it's gonna happen for
It's
sure.
expensive to do that, don't you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't
that's-
immediately. I would. So just to show of hands in the room, like who is like day one? I'm getting it.
Not day one.
Day
Some
one,
point-
but
at some point. yeah.
I'm kind of here because I need a firm payment plan for this thing. I just can't, drop.
Kind
Just
of.
say,
What are we talking
depends
about?
on the price.
Did they say January was the
They
pre-order
said
date?
January pre-order
And
starts.
that's when the prices will be more, because they're still working on some production details.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. It's after Christmas. We'll be broke from Christmas, but those of us with families and kids and stuff
Right,
like that.
right,
yeah.
right. switching gears, I want to talk about LegionsCon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has everyone had a chance to go through the Horseman table line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, like I was stunned today. Like I went through and there was stuff there that I never anticipated seeing.
You don't
Like,
have to rub it in our face.
I don't even know.
I saw your haul.
You saw my what?
Your haul.
Hall.
Oh.
I thought we were gonna talk about stuff.
Under the table, he can.
Right. But I was stunned personally because I got like the Iron Knight, Steel Knight. I got the deluxe, the female deluxe
Night
builder. Thank you. And I was just like, I can't believe this stuff is on. Like they had the Cavern Dwarf first version. They had Hadriana. What?
No, this is somebody's phone.
There was an Otadi yesterday. Did anybody hear that? Man, that was killing me
Yeah.
every time.
Joe
It was somebody's like, yeah, I was dying. But anyway, so I picked up some of that stuff and I was just like, holy crap. And so I go and I sit down and Jeremy came and was eating some chicken strips next to us. And I said, dude, I've got to ask. I mean, I'm sorry you're eating those chicken strips. They look kind of dry, but. And I said, dude, these are all reissues, right? Like, you remade these for us. And he's like, no, those are warehouse finds. And I was just like stunned that they would keep figures for years in their warehouse and then give them to us, you know,
Yeah.
at regular prices. So it's like, you know, I would pay like that deluxe Legion builder, the female Legion builder is like 130. I've seen it
Those
more.
were Big Greg's secret stash when they found them.
Exactly. So
Makes
I don't
sense.
know. It's just I think it's cool for them. They have strategy when it comes to like I think it's all Jeremy, like the sales strategy of things. But like that warehouse, like I had a chance to check it out, and it just goes back. Like it goes back like twice as far as this room. It goes back, and there's a wall that separates it. And Cornboy's like, here, I'll take you. And I was like walking down, and there's like just. And they're marked, and there's I don't know what the boxes there are, what they say they're on the sides, but I wasn't trying to like look and study and like write down them. But I was walking this way, and then I come back, and there's another. He's like, yeah, this way. There's another room that has more in it. I'm like, okay, I'll go that way. And I started walking, and then they're like, no, don't go that way. And I was like, oh shit. So I don't know if that's where they were keeping dragons, or who knows what. I mean, they could have a village that they're building there, or you know, they might have elves that are building. I don't know, but they're like, no, get back here. So thankfully, I didn't see. I'm like, guys, I didn't see anything. So if not, Schmerber might be in a drum. Like they could kill me. Like you guys never see me again.
I swear I didn't see
Yeah,
anything,
I
Mom.
didn't see anything. I promise, I didn't see anything. So thankfully, I'm safe. I didn't see anything.
Don't witness nothing in New Jersey.
Right. But
So, show of hands in the room. How many of you? This is your first LegionsCon? Oh my gosh, this is incredible!
yeah, get your hand up, Randall.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You ain't that.
That's
cool.
insane. That's really cool. That this is like the first time for so many people. Yeah, last year was my first time. Last year was your first time coming as well.
It was.
Unfortunately, next year I don't think we're going to be able to come because this guy is going to be getting married right before, and so that's going to be a big trip. Yeah, we're all glad for that. It's going to be a big trip. So
Thank you.
Can't you do like one day?
What?
Maybe one day? Maybe the Sunday or.
What?
You come
yeah,
one
like
day?
you get married on like Saturday, but then maybe you can come on
I
Sunday.
mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, I'm like, babe, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
In
And I'm
12 hours.
And like, yeah, like the movie Snatch, where the guy jumps on the airplane and flies out. That's gonna be me. Yeah, I think that's
So
gonna be
proud we
like,
got him on Monday though.
yeah, I'll be back. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So how is your experience like? Is it everything you guys thought it would be? Is it more? Is it less? Like, is it overwhelming? Like,
Overwhelming.
A little overwhelming, yeah.
It's loud but the thing is, like, everyone seems to know everybody. So, but my thing is like, get out there and introduce yourselves and be like, hey, you know, because a lot of times the people that you guys see more often are super cool or super nice people. Not us, but other people. So like, go to them and they will talk to you. Like, I've never gone up to someone, they're like, you know what I mean? So like, I urge people, because earlier today, Jeremy's like, were you here last year? And I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't loud and obnoxious and talking to everybody. This year I am, you know what I mean? So it benefits you. You get more, I think, out of the experience if you connect with people and share your story or talk.
Yeah.
Or, hey, like I say, hey, what do you got there? And so that's built this friendship, just me not being shy and saying, hey, what you got,
Yeah.
And so that started our friendship.
Yeah, I don't know if I just necessarily would have just sat down and started talking. Then we found out we have so much in common, and today we took a nap together.
I was gonna say we both love Beachhead, but that wouldn't sound right.
No.
Beachhead's our favorite. Yeah.
But you're short right over there. Just saying what y'all do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
something we connected.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, absolutely. But found out that we both like the Celtics, which is kind of weird because neither one of us have any ties to Boston whatsoever.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool though. I love
Yeah.
Boston. Boston Hava.
Well, I mean, you're half too. So,
Right.
so yeah. So do you want to do? I mean, it's about 6:30. Do you want to do some New the Mythics stuff?
Sure. I'll just so people that haven't seen my show, I always think it's interesting to hear how people become part of the show, or how they are new to the line, or how they're introduced into it. So to tell my thing really quick, was that I had a friend that was he was in the line. He had a lot of the stuff and kept telling me about it. And I'm like what everyone says is I don't need to start a new line. I don't need to start a new line. Everyone says that. And so he kept trying, and I appreciated that. So we did a trade of something else, and he just threw in a Malleus. He got the green skeleton. In case people don't know, my man Grasshopper there, he probably doesn't know, but it's a green clad skeleton, and he wrapped it up and he sent it with the stuff, and I was like, what is this? So I checked it out and I opened it. His jaw opens and he comes with his weapons and stuff. I'm like, this figure's actually pretty cool. And then I was kind of interested. I'm like, okay, so I went on Source Horseman, and then I went to LegionsCon, which is my first Mythic con, and the Horsemen were there, 2 of the Horsemen, and they were just so damn nice. I bought an Eric Miller sculpt. I didn't know who Eric Miller was, but now he's this famous, his stuff is amazing, and all that. People buy his, but everyone was so cool, and I'm like, I love this community. I want to be part of this. So that's my thing, and I don't have anything to contribute other than my friendship and doing the show. So I like to kind of spread that, the word about how this community and this line are amazing. But I love to hear other people how they got introduced into the line.
Yeah, I started with the Horsemen way back with Todd Toys.
Yeah.
Before McFarlane Toys were McFarlane Toys, they were Todd
way
Toys.
back.
So it was way back, and I knew who they were. I remember, I don't think I knew who they were within Todd's toy group until they went out on their own, which I guess now was 25 years ago. And then I heard that they were starting 4 Horsemen, and then they started doing all these other things. And then I was they were like, oh, these are guys that used to work for McFarlane and Todd Toys. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I followed them through the years, and so I've been a collector of their stuff. Probably the He-Man Classics. I don't know. Probably a lot of you probably collected He-Man Classics line, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of followed everything they did. I got in on Mythics from the very first Kickstarter to the second Kickstarter. I had Olive Wave 1, Olive Wave 2, and I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You're not the only one that's done that.
And I sold everything. And I look back and I probably sold Otho for probably $25 or $30.
I mean, you go downstairs and buy it for $700 now.
Yeah. We'll see that price come down a little bit, I'm sure soon.
Yeah.
And then, I sold them all off and was just whatever. And then I kind of followed them through the years. I would see new lines pop up, and I was like, oh man, that figure's awesome. And that figure's great. And I thought, oh, if I was collecting, I'd get that again. And then what happened was, it was October of 22. I think that was when they put out the Headless Horseman, Figure Obscura.
That's when I started.
And I saw that, and I was like, I love the Headless Horseman. I love that whole story and Washington Irving's story. And I was like, I want to get in on that. So I bought that figure, and then I got the figure in hand. I was like, damn it. I was like, that's why this line is so
Right,
awesome.
yeah.
And I was like, I
Once you
forgot.
get it, the construction
Yeah.
of the figures.
And I never
like,
had a horse either.
If you're a figure fan, like their stuff is so good.
Yeah, it's so well made. And then I was like, well, let's just go ahead and buy some. So I started picking up. So I about this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and then like
That's what
you
I
know,
love to hear.
And then come August of the next year, I had a friend who was like, hey, I'm gonna go to LegionsCon. I'm like, let's do it. So like I went from like not having any to having like buying one in October, and then the following November last year was my first LegionsCon and come, and now I've got probably I don't know 200 on my shelf, and it's just it's so much debt. And, self.
Well, it brings you happiness. That's
Yeah.
why
So, does anybody have like how they came to how they came to the Mystics line? If they want to share, I know not a lot of people probably like talking in front of people. All right, cool. Hey, Charles, go ahead.
he was
jump in
first.
there.
No, Brian was first.
Oh, Brian was first. Brian,
I'd
jump in
rather
there.
listen to Brian than Charles. anyways.
I started with the Horseman back in the 2000X He-Man and got all the Matty Collector, did Matty Collector from day one, every the month, He-Man of the Month Club, whatever you want to call it, all the way.
God, so many stressful red screens of death with Matty Collector.
You got it every month. So did all that, did all the all-ins, all the buys, did everything with that. And then I kind of didn't really know about Mythics. I didn't hear anything about it. I kind of missed that. And then when they did the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, just recently I started seeing it on all the websites and I started seeing it everywhere. And I said, this looks amazing. I'm going to put them with my Skeletor. So I got 2 of them. Wish I would have got more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And got them. And I said, these are amazing. And then I went to the in-stock sale. I got everything on the in-stock sale. I went to 2 conventions near me. I just started in July. I went to 2 conventions near me here, and now I'm at like 150 figures in like 4 months.
Yeah.
So I say I'm down the rabbit hole.
And I love though that you became part of the community, because that's when I noticed you, like that you were part of this community, and that's, I think they kind of go hand in hand. Like I love to see that people share, or they post pictures of what they got, or they say, hey, I'm new to this, what's a good figure to start with, or what's a good, so I love that, and I'm always happy that people will be more, kind of put their social awkwardness aside and be like, hey, what can I get? Or they just start talking.
Yeah,
and they
it's
see
a great
that,
community. It's not like
yes,
the other.
they see how welcoming
A
people
lot of
are.
gatekeepers out there, not here.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yeah, that's what I really like.
Yep.
Let's go with Charlie. What's up,
Yep.
Charlie? How did you?
Yeah, so
V-Dog, codename
my
V-Dog.
My main collecting was back with Matty Collector in about 2012. I got a Horde Prime, I think it was, and I got my brother one, and then he got crazy with those figures the same time as me. It's kind of weird, but he never plays with them. He's like, he was buying them even though he doesn't do anything with them. But so I'd get some here and there over the years. I went kind of quiet for a while. Then last year I got a few more. And then February I was watching some videos. One of them, I don't know if y'all heard of Uncle Tim's rant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I love that dude. Hey fam, how's it going? Listen here, it's Uncle Tim. Listen, we gotta talk about Hasbro, guys. We gotta talk about Hasbro. I don't know what these prices are. Fam,
Multi-talented here.
I love Uncle Tim's rants, man.
But he'd be saying, oh, go to this place or this place. And he mentioned the Four Horsemen, the in-stock sale, which years ago I heard of them, but it's like, it didn't sink in, like, yeah, let's get that. So I went to the in-stock sale and I was like, there is some cool ones here. I got the Sibboleths, half giant, ogre 2,
Nice.
those ones. So I got a few.
Those are great figures too.
It was like 5, and then like maybe another hour I did another one. It's like I did 3 or 4. I kept them going back to that sale, and then I got crazy at that point. So it's weird because that was into February, and at the early part of February I went to my first con. Me and my son-in-law, we went to Atlanta Comic-Con, and Ginger Kid had some Legions, but I wasn't into it then. 3 weeks later, I was.
Yeah.
Just like
So what was it that caused you to buy them?
No, that review.
Oh,
He said it
gotcha.
was a sale.
Oh,
so I
gotcha.
checked it out. I was like, oh, and then
Yeah.
just like some of these figures, like you're not sure if it like speaks to you, and then
and I think they're a good price. So like if you buy them new for $35, $40 the most, it's like, okay, that's not too bad. So like once you get one, or you go to a show and you're like, you know, I've heard about these, I'll pick one up, you know, and you open it and you start messing with it. It's like, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, like
Uncle Tim's waiting for him to hit Ollie's though. He's like, I'm gonna wait till you hit
Right,
Ollie.
yeah, you keep waiting.
Well, it's $7.99. I can pick one up.
Yeah, but then like April, they had the mystery boxes, and I joined the Cabal. The first person I talked to was Peter Johnson on there.
Yeah, he's a great
And
guy.
people were selling stuff, and so I was tagging him. I was like, hey, you know, do you know this person? And so I got a bunch. Yeah, so from February to now, I got like probably 150.
And that's another thing that's really good about the Cabal is I don't feel nervous about making any transactions really on the Cabal, like at all. I will not buy anything from anybody else in any other group. Star Wars, G.I. Joe, like no, it's not happening. Like I would rather go to eBay. I'm just not gonna deal. But the Cabal, I don't like.
Yeah, like the
that's
Skull Man, you know the.
Zolocom?
Yeah, the one from Zelda.
Yeah, I ordered that from Ish.
Apparently there were a few this morning. I've heard,
yeah,
and that they went pretty quick. They were one per
Yeah,
person. So
yeah, I was lucky.
Does anybody else have a story? Oh yeah, let's hear.
man. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always loved action figures. I mean, the first action figures I collected when I was like really, really young was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, like,
Yeah.
loved that cartoon when I was a kid, and just everything to do with TMNT and Batman and all these things. And you know, I haven't spoken to any of the guys about this, but when I was younger, like, you know, like certain figures, if you couldn't afford certain ones, you pretend that the cheap figures are the actual figures that you want. So I would do that, you know, not that we were like super poor or anything, but like couldn't just get any figures you wanted,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
working class background. And so yeah, always been into figures. And then the biggest ones I was into was NECA Gears of War. And
Oh,
I-
yeah, those
great
are
figures.
love those,
Yeah.
and I've still got
Chunky.
Yeah, and they're actually an offensive weapon in the right hands, you know, like because they're heavy.
Oh,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
Yeah, your little brother is gonna get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted the Storm Collectibles Gears of
Yeah.
War. That was the first time I ever even heard of Storm Collectibles is when they started doing Gears of War. And I was like, well, I've got these NECA, they look great.
Well,
But
the definitive Coltrane is the Store Collectibles one, because the NECA Coltrane was like a weird arm. It was never really well articulated or anything like that. And seeing as that's one of the most popular characters, it's weird they never like remade it.
Coltrane.
You know, so
Yeah.
here's what. So I would like start army building. So I've got like 30 plus COG soldiers. You know, and I would do these setups and these displays, outdoors, hiking, action figure photography.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. And then literally a friend of mine called JR Nightmare, who was here last year, a guy called Junior
I
Williams.
feel like I've heard that.
Maybe from the
Yeah, yeah.
ACBA community.
Yeah,
Like he's been doing it for years, right? And so he would like post these amazing images of like the goblins, right? And at first I'm like, oh, these are cool. Yeah, the goblins.
Yeah.
That was my gateway in, right? Goblins, and he would like pose them and do all these bloody effects and all kinds of stuff, right? And I would always think they're cool, but then I was just I was a Gears head, so I was just Gears of War. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it was, right? But something said, get into this, just give it a go, you know? And I've always been into
Try.
medieval fantasy. So
Yeah.
my first goblins, my first Mythic Legions were four orcs from eBay. I ordered like a few of them from eBay. And then when I got them, and you know what it's like, guys, when you have them in your hands, it's a whole different story. you know?
Yes.
So-
Yeah. Once you start playing with it,
Yeah,
you can't
man.
It
stop,
would
right?
crack in the plastic. I
Yeah.
swear.
are you able to like go into like any type
I
of
was
toy
gonna
or
ask
comic
you that,
shops
yeah.
like in London and like pick them up, or is it all eBay?
Yeah, so you know, like, there's no store in the whole of the UK that you could just walk into and get Mythic Legions.
Damn shame.
And weirdly enough, like, only about a week ago, a guy called Bear Black, who's in the community too. Some of you guys might have seen him before.
Bear
He-
Blaze?
Yeah, there's Bear Blaze, there's a few bears.
Yeah.
The Forbidden Planet in Nottingham, which is, you know, a few hours away from London, they actually had like a little break off section in the Forbidden Planet where he was selling some customs, some Mythic Legion customs. And that's like the closest thing I've ever seen to Mythic Legions being sold in the UK. But there was one great moment where a guy that I met in the Cabal, who happened to be based in London and from London, he sold me some Mythic Legions, and I said, oh, you know, you don't need to ship them to me. Let me come and pick them up from you. So I met up with the guy, went to the ATM, drew the cash out, gave him the cash in the hand. It was so great to have a thumb at a Goblin Legion builder in a bag. I felt like I went shopping and just bought them from the
Right.
shop.
Yeah,
And I was so
yeah,
excited.
yeah.
I took pictures, like I had them in a bag, and I could walk home, get on the train, and that's the closest I've ever come to buying them in the UK.
Well, it's kind of like that here in the States. I've actually been to a couple of conventions like in the Midwest, out west,
Yeah.
and it's like there's a whole chunk of the United States that do not get them.
Yeah,
You know,
I've heard
like
that.
Midwest
Yeah.
out, I don't think they're anywhere. But then by the time you get out to like probably California,
Well, I think the West Coast too. Like Rob, you can't find any out in the West Coast either, unless they have like a
You have to
con or
make
something.
like a bit of a drive, but yeah.
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 So they're not very easily found there either.
No, I mean, there's quite a few toy shops out there, but the closest one I would have to drive at least an hour and a half.
What is the one that's out in California? You were always telling me about.
Oh,
that.
Frankenstein's.
Frankenstein's.
Yeah.
They don't. Do they have them there?
I mean, they
do,
have
but
some.
It's like a swap meet. when you
Yeah.
walk
Oh,
in.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're at the mercy of. Yeah, I went to a con during over the summer. It was like in Indiana, and we went out there and like
the dog, Indiana.
it was enormous. It was like IndieCon. It was this massive, massive convention. There was one guy who had 3 Mythic Legions at his table, and I bought 2 of them. And it was just like, and there's like nobody had. I mean, it's all Marvel Legends and Black Series and G.I. Joe Classified. Like that was it.
I kind of love though that Mythic is grassroots, and I think that's why a lot of us will like send figures to friends that don't collect, because it's like, I want you to know about this.
Yeah.
It's not a cultish thing, but it's almost like, you know, hey, why aren't you collecting this? Let me send you a gladiator. Or didn't you say you sent?
Yeah, I sent my son.
And same
I
thing
mean,
with
not my
Randall.
brother. I sent my brother that gladiator.
Yeah, Randall had a friend that we, you know, tried to. This guy?
Yeah, that's me.
Why didn't you say something? I didn't know it was you, man.
Why?
But anyway, so like I love that it's grassroots, and I actually asked Jim, who's one of the horsemen, I said, hey, you know, do you want to have like to be in Targets and Walmarts and stuff like that? And he's like, no, I want to be able to come and to have these kind of shows and see you guys and talk to you guys, and I want you to be able to come up to me and you know, if you want a picture, if you want to ask me something or talk, you know, I want to be accessible. And like, to me, that's like an amazing thing. 'Cause it's like, do you guys know who is the Mezco person? Do you know who runs Hasbro? I don't know their names.
No.
I've never seen them. You know, I could go to Jim or Cornboy or Jeremy, like he's eating chicken tenders in front of us. Like,
You now
they're
all have
there.
his phone number.
Yeah, right. But they're there for you guys, so like they're accessible, and like you don't see that in any other toy line. So.
And also another thing too that we also don't think about a lot of times is we also like associate things that are in big box stores or like Walmart or Target or whatever. Like we associate that with they would be making more, and so it would drive the prices down. But when we talked to Brian Flynn, if you guys have never had a chance to see where Greg and I sat down and talked with Brian Flynn, who runs Super 7, he actually let us know that those, like, it actually drives the prices up. Because for them to put like a reaction figure, because we were talking about reaction figure prices, we're like, why are they not $10? He was like, I can't sell them at $10. He's like, they have to be 20 because we're at Target. And he was like, so
Yeah,
for
Target.
for them to be on the shelf at Target, like it cost us so much money
Right.
to get them into the store.
Because Target wants their.
Because Target wants their cut, so we have to raise the prices. So I think if you went to a place where like if you ended up seeing a spot, you know, where Mythic Legions are in that collector section at Target in the back where the TVs and stuff are, the prices would probably be like $55,
Right.
and we don't want that. I mean, we want the prices to be as low as possible. So
Right, yeah.
I'm okay if the trade-off is that then I can't walk into a Target or a Walmart and buy one. I also don't want Target or Walmart exclusives either because,
Right.
as you guys know, they're almost completely impossible to ever find,
Right.
ever.
So we got to do our part, I guess. And
I can't even find retail figures at Walmart. Like the Walmart, I have 5
Walmarts
Walmarts in
are
my
so
tiny
bad.
town. We have 5 Walmarts. Like none of our Walmarts carry G.I. Joe Classifieds. Haven't in 2 years. And like I see people are like, oh, I found the new Alpine in Storm Shadow.
I told Eric about that. I'm like, there's no.
Like I found these today at Walmart. Like my Walmart has not carried G.I. Joe in 2 years. Like there's not even there's no peg for them to go.
Guys,
Like
you know what I was going to say as well, what I find, and I'm sure everyone has seen this or heard of this as well, but one of the best ways that people have gotten into the line, it seems, when they're gifted a figure.
Yeah.
You know, like one of my friends,
Exactly.
I was working on converting him for a few months, you know, and then I won a figure on Shooting the Shelf, which was the Skull Man.
Oh.
And then I won it, and then I said I was going to my boy Faisal, because he's a big metal fan, he loves
There you go.
skulls, and then he got that, and since then, now he's slowly getting rid of other lines.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention which lines he's getting
Right,
rid of.
right, right, yeah.
But he's slowly making way for the Legions, and he's coming next year.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's awesome.
and it's
That's
for the gift.
incredible.
It's for the gift, you know.
This seems like a AAA kind of meeting or something. where-
Yeah.
Like, right on, brother.
Does anybody want to share?
Right.
Anybody else want to share? So yeah, Randall and I have been friends for like 20 years now, and then nothing makes me happier than to see my friends like share in that joy that I share in. It's not like I want them to do the same thing I'm doing, but it's like I want them. It's like I really want them to like I really want them to like be as excited about something that I am, and like, oh, you didn't know about this, but this is really cool. But I'm also not a very pushy person, so like I don't try to like, you know, like I don't. I'm like you gotta buy this, just buy one, and you'll understand.
That's exactly what happened.
And I don't, and so Randall can tell you, it's like I never pushed it on. I was like, but you should really try them out, and then finally, I think we were at Toylanta. Either Toylanta or Atlanta,
Toylanta,
yeah, or Atlantic Comic Con, and Ginger Kid was there and was selling them.
I went and looked at they had all these mythics, and the young man came, I forgot his name. He's telling me about it.
Yeah, Ginger Kid's son.
Yes.
The Ginger Kid's kid.
Yeah, he's telling me all about it, and I'm just
Ginger Kid
looking, and what happens is Mark
Ginger Kid
goes,
Jr.
"Oh, this is the one," and he picks up Dubon.
You said he goes, all right, I'll do it. I'll buy one.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you
It
did.
was on my face.
You said it out loud to me. It's like, if I buy one, which one should I
You guys
buy?
are like an old couple.
He puts it in my hand and is like, "This is the one you should start with." That's how it happened.
Yeah.
But that is true.
That is-
I was like, he comes with an
Great
entire
figure.
like set of hands. He
so much, it's a great.
Yeah, it's a
like he has like a wired cape. He comes with a bird. Like this dude's like amazing.
Yeah, and then we snuck. We got separate. We just did our own thing for a little bit, and I went back to another stand. And I went back and bought Mephitor. I
Yeah,
could
that's
tell
the
everybody-
Stinkor tribute.
Yeah, that
No
was-
one buys Mephitor though.
Stinkor was my favorite. I was like, he's like, what?
There's
So
quite a few Mephitor's.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right on.
Yeah, I bought one because I turned it into a what, Thistlethorn? I don't
Thistlethorn,
yeah.
Yeah.
Thistlethorn, yeah.
Because he was one I wanted, and I was like, I'm not paying those prices. I could literally would just
Yeah.
like people are literally giving like that like Mephitor figure away for free. Like
It's
I'll take it. I'll take that.
But
away.
it's still a great figure.
it's on sale downstairs. If
Yeah.
I got it, and nobody bought it.
But like, I mean, just the figures are so good, so you can't help it once, if you're a fan of action figures, which we all are, I believe, if you have one in hand, it's gonna work its magic. And the line is so big, plus Cosmics, the line is so big, like there's something that's gonna attract you no matter what. And that's one of the things I
Who
like.
in here, show of hands, because I love to read the room, like, who in here, like, loves, like, double dips, does Mythic and Cosmics, now that you brought it up?
I haven't started Cosmics.
Okay,
I
all right.
can't start a new line. I can't start
Yeah,
a new line.
yeah. There are a few, I will, allow me to enable you. There are a couple of really cool Cosmic figures that have come out that have a lot of mythic parts. Okay, one of them that we both love. What's her? Kalian Shun. So she's the one she has like a robotic head and a red cloak and a little red hood. It's like purple on the inside, shred. She is basically almost head to toe. She's almost the Mythics figure.
Yeah, I think it's only the paint that kind of makes her.
It's like, I think she has like a cosmic belt and like cosmic boots, but other than that, and then her head is like Thrace.
Head Thrace,
And so
She's
like
got
if you
Lady Emperor on the chest.
yeah. So if you get a chance to check her out, like maybe just look at one downstairs, even if you're like not like I don't want to do. She is like an amazing figure.
Yeah,
she
she's
is
one of my favorites.
like she's definitely going to be on like my top 10 of the figures of the year for sure.
So we are doing an episode of Top 10.
Yeah, pretty soon we're going to do one where we just kind of like share our top 10. So yeah, I'm not into Cosmics as much as I am into Mythics. I think I fall squarely more in the fantasy side of things.
Me too.
My two favorite IPs, my franchises are Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So I love Star Wars, but Lord of the Rings is still my favorite movies.
That's
So
great
I love
franchise.
fantasy, but you put those two together, and I'm all about it. So yeah, it's cool to see like some are into it and some are not. It's okay. It's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have like their new to like how they got into Mythic story they wanted to share? I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
So what happened was,
What
that's how
happened
you know it's going to
was-
be a good story.
So what had happened?
I've known the Four Horsemen since the early days with McFarlane and through DC Universe Classics,
Yep.
the Motu Classics, and I'm like, I'm more of a sci-fi than a fantasy guy, so I just kind of
Says the guy who doesn't collect Cosmics.
I know exactly.
Interesting.
But
Tell me more.
I was at a local con, the Hall of Heroes con in Elkhart, Indiana, and I finally saw Mythics for the first time. And that little goblin face, like everything else, they stole my heart. So I was like, okay.
Who was your first goblin? Who was
See, I didn't get any there, but I made a trade on the Cabal. I traded off. I was buying Mezcos, and I just set them on the shelf. I never even opened them or anything. And I got hit up by somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I'll trade with you." Okay, great. So I got Snag before he was re-released. I got Swig.
Nice.
I got Nubnik and 2 of each of the Legion builders. And so it's like, bet.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
These are
Great
sitting
stuff.
here, and
Great
that was from
yeah.
the Wolf King himself. Oh,
Nice. Very cool. So another, I love doing this because I have so many people here. Show of hands. Who buys figures and either like stores them and doesn't open them, or just takes them out and poses them and leaves them on the shelf, and then who actually pulls them out and plays with them?
It depends on the figure.
It just depends on the figure. Yeah.
I could never leave them in the box.
no. They
Yeah.
don't.
No.
Yeah.
Like if I had space, I would open everything. You know what I mean? But like space wise, it's like if I can't display it, I don't really want to open it yet. You know. But our show, it's kind of made me open stuff.
Yeah.
Because we do our open what's
Double
it called?
unboxing.
Yeah, double unboxing. So, yeah. So it's fun to be able to actually open them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
So.
So somebody else is doing sound effects and impersonations. That's
I
really
like
cool.
that. I like
That was great. I just point to you every time and you just knock them out.
I don't open.
Terrence back there, he's got a story too, I think, about how he got.
Oh, you're putting him on the spot.
I am, yeah.
Terrence St. John, everybody, the
Terrence
creator
St.
of Bring Your Swig to Work Day tomorrow.
But can I just say though, like Terrence is before you start Terrence is a great example of someone that jumped in and
Feet first.
participated and just really embraced the community and the toy line. Like he went in like not half-ass, and I totally like that attracted me to him. I'm like, okay, this guy.
I've made a full ass of myself.
I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say
there's no
that.
half.
I'm trying to be nice, but you
You
know.
didn't go half-ass on the line. The line. We're going with that.
But you know, I respect that. Like I think it's awesome. Jeff like jumped in like both of you guys, and I think that's so cool. And now you really embrace the community, and then you see how the community embraces you. So if you would like to share, which I'm sure you do, go ahead, Terrence. How did you?
You want me to go up there? You want me to stay here? Or?
Oh, I'm recording up that way.
Okay, cool.
So.
All right. Yeah, no. So I totally I got into it. I'm a Motu guy originally. I went to PowerCon last summer. I went there, and amongst doing other things, I had seen the Manny Faces and the Whiplash tribute figures that they're
Yes.
doing.
That man.
Figured I was gonna grab those, and of course I didn't have the experience of knowing what a Legion's table or Legion's presence at a con looked like. And then you see that they had a couple of displays out, similar to the ones that we have in the hallways right now. And I saw the Waldorf figure because it wasn't out yet. I just saw this orange spacesuit with a skull in it and thought that looked.
It catches your
Awesome.
eye.
Yeah.
That orange.
And so I was determined to buy that figure that day. And but I didn't know. I mean, I just thought it's in the display. It's probably for sale. So I got up. I got on the line. While I'm on the line, so the headless horseman, but I was like, it's $100 something bucks. I don't know if I want to do that now. Went down the line, kept seeing more figures. And I was like, all right, I'll buy a few more figures. Oh wait, there's a She-Ra. Okay, there's a web. Okay. So about 12 figures later.
Did you have a cart then?
I did. I had, they'd give me a box and again, I've never been
They
on a
do
line
that
where
on
they're like, hey, do
purpose.
you need a box? And they just give you a box.
Like here.
So
this.
and so I got a box and I walked away with about 12 figures. But when I got to that line and went to pay, I said, "Where's the orange skeleton that you guys have? The orange spacesuit skeleton you guys have?" And the guy goes, "Oh, that's me." I'm like, "You don't look like you're an orange spacesuit skeleton." He's like, "No, but my name's Walter Hagen, and it's a tribute figure to me, but it's not out yet. It won't be out until the fall. We're having a con in New Jersey, and it'll be released then." Oh, okay, cool. He's like, "Are you from here?" I'm like, "No, I don't live in Columbus, Ohio." But,
Nobody does.
He sold me the stuff, and listen, I can put you in touch with a channel that really hates Ohio. Go check out a Punk with Toys. I'm just saying, Big G.I. Joe channel hates Ohio.
No, Matt,
Come on,
no.
man.
To be fair, he's from Michigan though, so I mean, there's a reason.
I was gonna say, go blue.
It's a rivalry. So anyhow, But I ended up talking to Walter, and I think I talked to Eric maybe that day, and went home and looked at my figures, and I think within a week or two had bought tickets for LegionsCon. I knew I was going to New Jersey. Now I live in West Palm Beach, Florida, so going to Columbus, Ohio, and then deciding immediately after I'm going to New Jersey in a few months. You know, not the choice that everyone makes, you know, but like I was like, I gotta check out and see more of this.
Destination for a vacation.
Went to LegionsCon, probably blew about $3,000 on more figures. But during that, got online not knowing anybody. Met Pete Johnson while I was on the line, and he asked me if I belonged to the Cabal, and I said I don't know what that is. And he invited me to join the Cabal.
He's like, do you know this action figure that's this orange spaceman?
He's like, have you ever been part of a cult? Would you like to join one? And I was like, I don't have any other plans, so sure.
Yeah.
Where's my rope?
Is there an
Anyway.
asteroid involved?
Right.
Kool-Aid?
But no, Pete was great. He gave me a lot of information. During the course of that day, just observing the way that the Cabal treats each other. I should say the people, the attendees of the LegionsCon, generally, you know, behave around one another, treat each other, treat the venue. I even had posted, I had started my Instagram channel like that day or the week going into LegionsCon, you know, and
Which is even called Terrence's Next Toy.
Terrence Next Toy,
Oh.
Terrence _ toy, and so, you know, on Instagram, and but saw this little redhead guy with a red beard helping somebody who had gotten too much for his box and couldn't make it across the lobby. And this guy said, oh, I'll help you get it up to, I've got a card, I'll help you get it up to your hotel room. The guy's like, that's not necessary. But this guy insisted upon helping. I'm like, that's awesome. Because I go to New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, it's not the general way you see people
Right.
interact. It's
Yeah,
not pushing, shoving, you know, this was like people helping each other, loved it. Took a picture of the guy helping, not knowing who he was, and I posted up saying, this is such a different con experience than I'm used to.
I remember that.
And Peter Johnson, who had just brought me to the Cabal, said, oh, that's Van Johnson. Who the hell's Van Johnson?
Right.
Well, I got to know Van Johnson. I don't know if you're aware of what the Purple Gang is. All I can say is, regardless of whether you know the show or not, the guys are awesome. You know, the show is a wacky show, and I'm saying it's fun, but it's wacky. The guys in real life are totally the nicest guys, willing to help out anybody. So, you know, if the wackiness runs you off, don't run too far, because if you meet them at a con, they're great friends.
But also, don't go up and strike up a conversation with them thinking you're going to have a regular conversation.
No.
Because you are not, and you will receive no true information from either one of them.
I walked up to Jordan yesterday. I said, Jordan, are you okay? Do you want something from outside? I said, I'll go get you lunch or something like that. He said, I want marshmallows.
There you go.
You're like, that's not what I asked you.
And he's like,
But-
I want the marshmallows that Dirk shoves in his mouth. I'm like,
Right.
do you want them after or before he shoves them in his mouth? He said,
I
"No,
don't
no."
care.
Yeah, so I got him a bag of
Don't ask a
marshmallows.
question you don't really want.
Yeah,
to
I got
answer
to talking with him at like Charlie's show in like Stone Mountain, Georgia. And I was like, when did you guys meet? And he was like, 3 years ago, 20 years ago. I was like, okay. It's like, where did you meet? And he's like, family reunion. He goes, a glory hole in a gas station. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm just not going to get an answer out of either one of you. It's like, okay, I understand now.
Now, Jordan is also an incredible painter at this point, like
He
you know,
really
customs
is.
and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So not to be overlooked. I mean, again, but they are often at a lot of cons, working tables, helping people out. You know, helping the community. If you're a new person, they're great
They're
ambassadors.
great ambassadors,
They're
right?
telling you about the brand, telling you, and,
Yeah.
and not just about, hey, these are great figures, but they show you the community at its best. which
But I
is-
think also fans of this line are all ambassadors also.
Absolutely.
You know?
I have often said to folks that I talk to privately, like, Four Horsemen probably has the greatest free marketing team that has ever existed.
100%.
They don't have to spend any
Right.
money on advertising, that's
You
for
know,
sure.
we
Yeah, for
tell
sure,
other
for
people
sure.
about the line, and people jump into it because I think they generally see the enthusiasm and love
Right.
and passion.
It's
we
not
have
a
for the line.
scheme. I mean, it's real. This stuff is good.
And again, if you do ever get involved with the Cabal, which I recommend, you know what I mean, it's a community that is more than just about the toy line. You know, it's people that actually start, you know, interacting about things beyond just the community. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
or just more than the toys, I should say. And I mean, you guys are extensions of that. You know, Purple Gang is extensions of that, and there's other folks here. You know.
Yeah.
But it's just so I got into it. I was into it for a while. I did the advice that guys like Bill Dorkler would tell you not to do, and I'm going backwards. I'm trying to get all the figures.
Yeah, don't
I
go
got
back.
into the mystery boxes, you know, and I went hard on trying to get those mystery boxes.
That's
which I
kinda
did.
how-
That's how me and Greg
Right.
became buddies, you know, and because of my relationship with Greg, that ended up being my relationship with Mark.
Yep.
And also with Jeff, you know, and it's kind of a different way, and like, you know, we've all become very good friends. And
I think
like,
our whole chat group is actually in this room now. There's
Right,
Rob,
we're
you,
looking at all
Jeff,
of you right now, so.
Charlie, Brian.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, Rob's back there. Yeah, I think our whole chat
Sure.
group. Well, look, we've got to wrap it up. It is we've hit that 7 o'clock, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but I appreciate you guys actually like sitting here and participating and like
Thank you guys.
listen to us rant about everything.
stickers.
And yeah, please come up and grab a free sticker. Absolutely check out New to Mythics. It's very hard to find Greg's channel on YouTube because if you go to YouTube and search New to Mythics, all you're going to find is a million videos about how to learn about mythic pickups from Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like it is like the hardest thing. So you have to look up New to Mythics Greg Smurber. You'll find it. And then
Look up episode 1.
yeah, just throw episode in there and it should work. And then my channel is the Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Instagram. And then every Saturday morning, it just happened to work out that way. We honestly didn't plan it. But when we were free, every Saturday morning we try to go live on YouTube. Greg and I do a show called Double Jointed with Greg and Mark, and that is us. So thank you all very much for driving and flying
Thank you guys
and
for your
taking
time.
submarines
Really
all the
appreciate it.
way to New Jersey just to be a part of this panel. I know that's the only reason you guys came, so I super
Help
appreciate
yourself to
it.
some napkins too.
Yeah,
please.
please help yourself to free plates and napkins, and you guys are the best. So thank you very much.